Hello? Hello?
Podcast Network Asia.
Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec Cuenca and I'm your host. And before anything else, I would like to greet each and every one of you who are listening right now. Welcome back to the show. If this is your first time, then I hope that you learned something from this episode. And if you do like this one, then I hope that you go check out the other episodes because they have a lot of amazing insights that I know that you will surely love as well. If you are an avid listener of the podcast, then welcome back. I hope that you learn something from this episode. And if you like this one, then go ahead and share this on your Instagram, on your Twitter, on your Facebook, everywhere. And do not forget to tag me at Small Talk Podcast because I love connecting with each and every one of you. So please do not forget to tag me and I will repost it as soon as I can. So for today's episode, we have something that I didn't really realize up until I got to reflect over the past few years. And this is a major concept, not only that we take for granted, but I think this is one of the crucial things in actually achieving great things in life. There's a quote that says, "Before anything great is really achieved, your comfort zone must be disturbed." And I truly believe that. And so what is our comfort zones? Well, generally speaking, our comfort zones are areas in our life where there is little stress. Life Hacker defined the comfort zone as a behavioral space where your activities and behaviors fit a routine and pattern that minimizes stress and risk. And the major word that we need to focus on here is stress and risk. So if you're not feeling stressed, you're not feeling that you're taking any risk, then chances are you are in your comfort zone. However, it may be really calming to our ears. This is a place where we essentially fail to realize the potential that we have inside of us. And I truly believe that each and every single one of us has the capability to reach new levels in their lives and achieve great success no matter what the definition of success they have. And so in our comfort zones, there is a sense of familiarity. There's a sense of security. There's a sense of certainty. And when we step outside the comfort zone, we're taking a risk. And we open ourselves up to the possibility of stress and anxiety. And sometimes, most of the times, we're not quite sure what will happen and how we will react. And a lot of you might think that why should we go and put ourselves in a position to feel stress and anxiety? Isn't that like the main purpose of the podcast, to minimize it? Right? I said it in a previous episode before. There are two types of stress, actually. The bad stress, which we try to reduce and eliminate most of the time. But there is the good stress, where it pushes us to become better. And the thesis of being a person or a paragon of self-improvement is to find things that we can handle, find stresses that we ultimately want to be stressed about. Okay, it's not about eliminating stress. It's about finding the things that we would love to be stressed about. Okay, and so I truly believe that if we push ourselves more out of our comfort zones, then we will be able to achieve a lot of things. And today we are going to talk about some of the reasons why you should step out of your comfort zones and how you can do that in your daily lives. Okay. Now, before that, I want to share with you a little bit of my story, how I applied stepping out of my comfort zone in my life. Now, I think I could pinpoint the first time that I ever stepped out of my comfort zone. It was back in 2016, where I had a moment in my college life where I was given a short notice that I had to move out of the apartment because two of my roommates decided that they want to go on our separate way. So they decided that they would find another apartment, but they left me on a very short notice. So I had to find a new place to stay in the quickest time possible. So I messaged some of my friends in Manila, and then there was one of my friend who was very kind, accepted me and took me in for a couple of weeks. And so I stayed there. I agreed with him. I was very thankful and I'm very fortunate to have him as a friend. And so when I was moving into his place, while I was unpacking my things, I saw a book on the floor and it was separated from the other books that he had. So I picked it up and it was still brand new. It was perfectly sealed. And it has the face of Robert Kiyosaki on the front cover. So I asked him, "Hey, what's this?" And he said, "Oh, that's a gift from my aunt." And I replied, "Well, aren't you going to read it?" He said, "No, I'm not into self-help books. You can have it." And so, okay, I was thinking that, well, this is my first day here and I'm getting a gift. Heck yeah, why not, right? So I thanked him, and a few moments later, my girlfriend asked me to join her to study at Starbucks. And so I went there, and that was the first time that I actually read the book. I hated books. I hated books. I could remember back in the day, I was so hesitant to read any of the books that was tasked by our teachers back in high school. And maybe that was the reason why I flunked out of the section 1 back in high school. But I really hated books. I felt like books were something that are meant for nerds and only for nerds. And I had that notion all of my life until that moment where I actually pushed myself out of my comfort zone, because I was so certain that I wouldn't really learn anything from a book. If I can learn something, it may be through experience or maybe through a mentor. But I didn't really look at a book as a component for me to get better. But I'm really glad that I did, because all of the success that I'm seeing in my personal development and especially in my podcast can be traced to that specific habit of reading books. And if I hadn't pushed myself to change my notion about it, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys. Okay, so that was the first instance that I actually pushed myself out of my comfort zone. And so I read more and more books. And I think now I'm not sure of the number, but I think I have 50 plus books that I already read. I know that's not an amazing feat, but I'm still proud of myself for doing that, because for a person who didn't really like books, whether it's adventurous ones like Harry Potter, or very cheesy ones like The Fault in Our Stars, or maybe even self-improvement, self-development books, which I didn't know that existed before. Okay, it was just not for me. I just felt like it was something that was out of my character. But still, I pushed myself out, and here I am. And that was the first moment that I actually stepped out of my comfort zone. The second one probably came from when I was reading another book by Gary Vaynerchuk. He emphasized the importance of being out there, of creating content. And when I heard the phrase "do not create, just document what is happening in your life," a lot of people would be interested in the journey, not the result or the end product per se. I was very inspired. So I said that, okay, I'm going to start vlogging. And that's the moment when I created my YouTube account. And so when I had the opportunity to record on a decent phone, a decent camera, I took the chance. I started vlogging. I documented what was happening in my life. And I could tell you that is one of the most uncomfortable things that I have ever done in my life. For the people who haven't tried vlogging, can you even imagine like picking up your cell phone and being in a public place and just talking to yourself for 3 to 5 minutes about what's happening, where you are, and all of the other things that you need to say on camera? When I was doing that, I was very uncomfortable because I was thinking that, okay, a lot of people are looking at me and probably they're judging me. And I'm thinking, now, what would they be thinking? Right? But I still kept on. I still, even though it was very uncomfortable, I still tried. I still continued doing it. I didn't give a shit about what other people would think, but it was a very uncomfortable moment for me. But looking back, I can now realize that those moments that were actually small moments of me stepping out of my comfort zones allowed me to see the world and gain this new perspective that I need to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, because life will always put you in positions where you will feel uncomfortable. Life will always push you to places where you have never expected. Life will always try to change what you have or where you are right now. And change is one of the things that are constant in this world. And if we are comfortable with change, if we embed in ourselves that we need to accept change more and more, then we will become okay with the stress that is happening in our life. We learn to accept things that are out of our control. We learn to focus on the things that we can control. We learn to experience new things, learn new stuff, and we learn to punch fear in the face. And so, being uncomfortable is one of the major things that we need to cultivate as a person who is invested in self-development. If you are listening right now, then I am assuming that you are interested in improving yourself. So if you are, then please step out of your comfort zone. I know the generation before us told us that we need to stick to the status quo. There's a standard that we need to live. But we could learn so much more if we learn to explore the world, the chance that we have right now by ourselves. And I know it's scary and it's hard and it will never be easy, but trust me, it will be worth it. So today I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why you should step out of your comfort zone. So the first thing is you create a growth mindset. In the recent guesting that I did on Joy Spring's podcast, I said there that everything starts with mindset. You may have the skills, you may have the talent, you may have the resources, but if your mindset is fixed, if your mindset is not a growth mindset, then you won't go very far. And essentially, a growth mindset, the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset is a fixed mindset says that I can't do it, while a growth mindset will say that I can't do it yet. And that small switch that you will have in your mindset will allow you to actually reach the potential that you have right now. I'm not here to give you or to show you some skills that you don't actually know before. You have it in you. And I'm only saying this because you need to realize the status quo, the norms that the past generation has given us prepares us for a life of mediocrity. If it's not something that allows you to have a growth mindset, it will just teach you just to settle. And you deserve more than that. You deserve the greatest things that you could ever have, as long as you are willing to work for it. But it all starts with having growth mindset. And one way you can have a growth mindset is to actually push yourself out of your comfort zone. Adapting to uncomfortable situations will make you realize that the pursuit of self-improvement is based on the capability of overcoming different challenges in your life, especially the ones that you're not comfortable with. It teaches you new things, it expands your perspective, it upgrades your mentality, and it pushes you to grow. Intentionally leaving the comfort zone goes hand in hand with developing a growth mindset. It expands what is possible. So that's the first one. You create a growth mindset. The second one is you open new doors. Because of me pushing myself out of my comfort zone and reading books, of trying to be out there, of being okay with getting criticized, getting dislikes, getting a lot of negative feedback, comments from my peers, allowed me to have opportunities that I didn't even know can possibly exist. Right now, I'm actually living, if not the best phase of my life, because I feel like all the things that I have done before is making sense. All the sacrifices I did before, all the decisions of me being okay, being comfortable with the uncomfortable, is actually something that would make me happy for the rest of my life. It opened a lot of opportunities. Heck, I even got to guest on Joy Spring's podcast, which is something that would be a stretch if you asked me in my 2015 the 2015 version of myself. You would ask that's really far-fetched. But it has happened and opened a lot of doors for me. I'm now speaking to a lot of schools, I'm giving talks at different organizations. I have 500,000 plus followers on TikTok, which is something that is really uncomfortable in the beginning because, first of all, I didn't have any viewers. And second of all, it's TikTok. People have a stereotype on TikTok that if you are on TikTok, then you should be lip syncing or dancing or, very cute or sexy or something like that. But I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I didn't let the things that people say dictate the possibilities that could happen in my life. And opened a lot of doors for me. And I'm assuring you that if you do that as well, if you try to look for one thing that people say that you can't, that people say that don't, try to push yourself a little bit further. You'll be surprised how much change, positive change, will happen in your life if you just take the leap. So that's the second one. You open new doors. Okay? But disclaimer, it wasn't really easy in the beginning. As I told you, it's very uncomfortable, but it works that way. Stepping out of your comfort zone is uncomfortable. Facing challenges in life is very challenging. Growth is painful. But if we really want to see ourselves in a better life, then we need to be okay with that. We need to learn how to eliminate our fears, how to adjust our beliefs, and how we could learn as we go. It will be very uncomfortable, and as it should be. Okay? So the third one is you step out of your comfort zone because you learn more about yourself. The pandemic is probably one of the most uncomfortable situation that we could be in. Our generation has faced one of the most exhilarating and challenging phases that we could ever face back in 2020. But some people took 2020 in a very demeaning way. And some people took 2020 as a chance to better themselves. Just look at it. How many bakers have erupted during the pandemic? How many entrepreneurs have we seen in 2020? How many content creators, just like me, have you seen emerged back in 2020? And this was something during the most uncomfortable situation that we've ever been at. But we understand that sometimes life is that way. It will throw you circumstances where you're not ready, where it's really far-fetched from your expectations, where it's really very uncomfortable. But as soon as we understand that that's just the way life is, the next question we need to have is, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do with the uncomfortable situations that we have been given by life? And the answer for some of the people is, well, I'll use this as an opportunity to see what I can learn from myself. And that's the thing. You will not comprehend how much potential you have inside of you. We are multifaceted creatures. We're not one-dimensional. Just because you're an engineer doesn't mean that you're only an engineer. Just because you are a teacher doesn't mean you're just a teacher. Just because you do one thing for the rest of your life doesn't mean that you can and only will do one thing for the rest of your life. You will learn a lot of yourself once you have that courage to step out of your comfort zone. I didn't know that I was good in motivating people until I actually started motivating people through my content. How would you even know that you're good at making people laugh, making pizzas, designing t-shirts, if you haven't tried it? And you may measure, there are a lot of risks, Alec. True, but you will never really able to realize your potential until you stop thinking what you could lose and start focusing on what you can gain. And you'll be surprised, my friend, of how much greatness you have in your life. You just need to punch fear in the face, start doing the things that makes you uncomfortable. and you realize that your comfort zone will expand. Soon, the things that you feel uncomfortable doing will be comfortable. Stepping out of our comfort zones are only hard in the beginning. It's messy in the middle, but it's really beautiful in the end because we get to learn a lot about ourselves. So that's the third thing. You learn more about yourself. The fourth thing, you become more confident. Confidence comes from progress and seeing that you can grow in the most uncomfortable situations will give your self-esteem a huge boost. A lot of people think, you're confident, that's why you did that. No, my friend, I was lacking self-confidence before. I had a very low self-esteem before, but I had to take the leap. I had to keep going. I had to take action in my life, even though I didn't have the confidence. And right now, I'm very confident that I can. But I only have this confidence because I have seen my progress. And if you haven't stepped out of your comfort zone, what are you going to hold on to? When you step out of your comfort zone, you will have small wins, and you need to celebrate them. And once you see them, you will appreciate the capabilities that you have, the potential that you have. It takes courage to expand your comfort zone. And once you've seen that you can be strong and brave, you'll have more reasons to keep going. You'll prove to yourself that you have a lot of positive traits that you should be proud of. Remember, confronting your fears face to face is the only way to get through them. And once you do this, you become evidently that you can, and you generally become more confident in your ability to take actions. So that's the fourth one. You become more confident. The fifth one is you let go of the what ifs. A lot of more what ifs belong to the uncomfortable zone that we have. Diba, merong comfort zone, we have the uncomfortable zone. And our what ifs are located there. And my friend, regret is poison. It will consume you until you die. And one of the best way to combat, to eliminate our regrets, is to actually push ourselves to the uncomfortable zones that we have. If it goes right, then congratulations, keep doing it. If it goes wrong, then adjust and learn from it. But we can't have that nagging voice at the back of our heads asking, what if? I hate that word. And I hope that you hate that word as well. What if? Okay, because we only get one shot at this. We only get one life. No matter how good or bad you may look at it, no matter how much you want to change that fact, you won't be able to. That's the one truth that we have to live forever. Is that we have one life, whether we like it or not. And so, stepping out of our comfort zone will eliminate the what ifs. You'll never have to wonder what life would be if you had just taken the other choice, the harder choice, the uncomfortable choice. Please, my friend, do not let your fears dictate the outcome of your story. And so those are the reasons why you should step out of your comfort zone. And I want to share with you some of the 5 things. Okay, now Alec, we know why we need to step out of our comfort zone. But how do we really step out of our comfort zone? And I will share with you 5 things that you can do right now to hopefully help you step out of your comfort zone. Number 1 is change your routine. We are mechanisms of habits, and we don't realize that we're living on autopilot. 51% of the things that we are doing in our daily routines are made up of habits. We don't really make the conscious choice on what hand we will use to pick up the toothbrush. We don't really take the conscious decision on whether we look at our phones or not look at our phones first thing in the morning. It's built by habits. And so we are very comfortable with our habits, with our routines. And one way that we could change things up, we could spice things up, is change your routine. Add something. Maybe read a book in the morning. Maybe watch a motivational video, watch a TED Talk while you are brushing your teeth. Maybe instead of drinking coffee, drink tea. There are a lot of benefits to it. And it's going to be very uncomfortable in the beginning. Okay? But stepping out of your comfort zone doesn't need to be something huge, something like, okay, I'm going to quit my job and be a content creator. It doesn't need to be like that. We need to train your mind, and you can train your mind just by altering small things that happen in your daily life. How about trying to take a walk or run 15 minutes in the morning? This will have a compounding effect that will ultimately change your life. So find things that you can insert or remove in your routine. That's the first one. The second one is face your fears. Literally face your fears. Like, list down things that you're scared to do. You're scared to share your feelings with your friends. How about doing that? You learn a lot about yourself. You realize who are truly your friends. That's also a benefit that you can get. If you have the fear of exercising, of working out, how about enrolling in a gym? If you have a fear in public speaking, then how about you post a video of yourself talking on YouTube? Literally, list down the things that you're scared to do and do it. The third one is to get out. Like, go to another place. Find another place that you'll settle in. Because your home, as I am pretty much sure now, is a comfort zone. No matter how hard it is right now with the pandemic, with the quarantine that is going on with the country, I'm pretty sure that you have adjusted, that your body and mind has adjusted to your home. And one way to step out of your comfort zone is to literally get out of your house. And of course, please follow safety protocols, but please get out. If you can, if you have the means, then find another place to live in. If you can't, then pick a date in your calendar where you plan to get away and just get away from the comfort that you have in your home. Get out of your house, my friend. If you're looking for a sign that will help you decide whether you need to take that trip outside and just have the moment to slow down and reflect, this is it. Okay? Follow, of course, the COVID protocols and always take care of yourself. But please, get out. Spending too much time in your house is killing you. Because it's really comfortable, right? It's killing your potential. So please, get out. The fourth one is physical change. Find things that you can do to have physical change. Exercise will help you push yourself to the limits. Try doing 15 push-ups today. Try doing 30 sit-ups today. And if you're already working out, try upping up the level of your workouts, like the intensity, the reps. Add just one more rep, one more set. Okay, do the one more rule. Do the one thing, the one hard thing rule, where you just pick a hard thing to do and do it regardless. Kahit gaano kahirap pa yan, gawin mo yan. Okay? And I wanna focus. I really put this down, even though, like, stepping out of your comfort zone, I said get out. It's a physical, it's a physical thing to do, and change your routine might be something very physical to do. But I want to focus on working out, because in working out, you're literally expanding the potential of your muscles. And when you take care of your body, when you know that your body can actually do more, your mentality changes. The reason why I'm going out to the gym is not because I want to have abs or I want to be very fit and healthy. I could do that by maintaining my diet, right? And maybe a few workouts per month. But I'm going to the gym regularly every single day because I want to push myself. My mentality is being challenged, and I always want to put myself in a position that I will challenge my mentality, because I know that if I overcome it, I will become more confident. It will help with my self-esteem. That's very crucial in your self-development journey. So please, find one thing that could add up to your physical change. And the last thing is look for a partner, a coach, or a mentor. Chances are you won't be able to do it by your own. Even though you want to, you might not know how to do it. You might need a little push from the external sources around you. So one thing you can do is to find a partner, an accountability partner that will motivate you to face your fears, to do something that scares you every single day, that will push you to your limits. Find a coach. If you really don't know where to start, if you really don't know, if you want to know more clarity in what you're going to do, what you are, where you are, what you want, and how will you get there, then maybe you should hire a coach. By the way, I'm still open, or even look for a mentor. Find people, list down people who you look up to, and figure out how they did it, how they were able to do it, and ask questions. Make them your mentor. That will eventually help you to reach the next level of your life. So that's what I have for you for this episode. I hope that you learned something. If you're going to get anything from this episode, I just want you to punch fear in the face. Like, do one thing that scares you every single day. Trust me, it will bring you exponential result. So start your journey right now and do the thing that makes you uncomfortable. Okay? So, that's it for this episode. If you like this episode, please share it on Instagram and do not forget to tag me at Small Talk Podcast. And yeah, my name is Alec Cuenca. This is Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. And I will talk to you guys next episode. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.